Ladies and gentlemen, it is incredibly difficult to be a conspiracy theorist because you just keep getting proven right, and usually 18 to 36 months before everyone else. Greetings, everyone, to the Tomodachi Bros podcast. With me today are Noodle and Itaku.
They're in the walls, man! They're in the gosh dang walls!
They are.
I have had contact with the aliens. They demand Pabst Blue Ribbon and also, several National Geographics. But they tell me that they're going to send me to Yuga. This sounds like a great idea, guys. Yeah.
Checks out. Today, at the request of Mother Pugum of House Pugum, we are going to do something kind of, tangentially related to the nerd culture, because this all kind of ties together when you think about it. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories and both their implications, evidence for or against, our thoughts on the matter. Don't take this too seriously. My TSA agent gets really tired of having to screen my calls. So, for the sake of argument, we're going to claim that we are quote-unquote joking and quote-unquote just in pal world. So,
Poor Patricia Kugelwagen. She's a good girl. She doesn't deserve this.
She puts up with so much crap. So, are we going to go in alphabetical order? How are we going to do this?
Well, does everybody have the list for one?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just put those in alphabetical order just because I'm OCD like that. We can go in any order you want. I really honestly did not organize them any more than that.
That's fine. In fact, let's just go down the list because honestly, the very first one alphabetically is kind of the one that had the most recent news appended to it. So,
this is actually five. It's basically a broad subject series of things, but I kind of all group them together all because they're broadly the same thing.
Right.
So our first conspiracy is Agartha, Hollow Earth, or a crust sits on a gigantic chthonic ocean. Now, if you are at all aware of any of this, you have to understand that, yes, these are all slightly different things, but basically there's something really huge within our world, and the man is keeping it hush-hush, you guys.
Well, let's not ignore something that is actually scientifically valid about this theory, is Earth's gravity in proportion to its mass doesn't make any sense. Earth's gravity is actually way higher than it should be given the relative size of the planet, based on what we understand. So a lot of the time, they're like, oh, well, the core is like molten metal. So it's all metal, and so that increases density, ergo gravity is disproportionately high. So a lot of people are like, is that it? That's really your excuse? Is we have a lot of metal? So then you start getting into, what if part of the Earth is hollow? What if the mantle isn't what we think it is? Because, guys, we have never actually pierced Earth's crust layer. You can't. It's physically impossible, far as we know. And they've tried.
After you get to about, I want to say 300 meters down, things just get so hot and the pressure is so much that it's really not possible for humans to get down there.
Nope. And so our entire understanding of everything in regards to that is largely speculative and derived from incomplete information sets. So really, anything could be down there. In fact, a recent news article, hang on, I got this. We got this. We have sources. We got sources, baby. Yes, they have discovered a giant reservoir of water 400 miles beneath the surface. And it's apparently 3 times the volume of water found in all the oceans combined. Like, so instead of a hollow Earth, maybe there's a subterranean ocean world. There's some fertile grounds for some good sci-fi novels. Am I right?
I was just going to say, this literally is a thing that, you mentioned in Wizards of Houston, and that, not only is the Earth hollow, but there basically is a thriving ecosystem of hyper-intelligent, hyper-aggressive monsters down there.
Yep. Because part of that was all conspiracy theories are true in Wizards of Houston, and that would include the Hollow Earth. And now it's like, I'm going to include a giant chthonic ocean down there, because why shouldn't I?
Well, I mean, that makes sense, especially because, well, not for nothing, but the ancients, that was the way that the cosmology worked, is that there was heaven, there was the sky, there was earth, there was the underworld, and then underneath that is this ancient primeval ocean that's where literally everything arose from. And certain gods were down there, and just things down there were like so old and so evil that people just, not even like legendary demigods, wanted to go down there just because it was so awful. And that's what Tiamat's supposed to be. But
checks out.
Yeah, so. But so, in that regard, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, if there's an underwater cistern of water, can you just imagine what type of life forms are down there? Because if there's water and there's heat, there surely is life. And so I'm just like, oh my God, is this where like we get giant like centipede, sea centipede dragons and stuff like that? Are they just down there?
I want to propose a theory. Stay
Okay.
with me, gentlemen.
Lay it on us, Professor.
Consider in the broadest terms what the human anatomy really is, what it boils down to. We have, well, I mean, humans, not us, but humans have long legs to move around. Great agility, good dexterity. They have graspers. They have hands. They have arms. They can reach out and use things. They can interact with things. Their vital organs basically stored in one neat little column, and then all their sensory organs stacked on top. That's basically what human anatomy breaks down to. So consider for a moment, follow me here, that so above, so below. What if this same configuration could happen again? Consider that the earliest incarnations of the primates family came to be probably because of our largely carnivorous diet. High protein, more that could be expanded into the gray matter, larger brain capacity, higher intelligence, upward spiral. If it happened on the surface, if there's heat and water and life, who's to say it didn't happen below as well? Yes, I am proposing, for a hypothetical state of argument, that there could be intelligent, sentient life right under our noses.
Are you saying that there's a Garthic pre-Adamic mermaid people?
I'm just putting it out there. I'm saying it's possible. If there is a giant ocean, we don't know if this is saltwater or freshwater, or maybe a mix of both, depending on like where you go. But I'm just saying, the ingredients are all there. It's the same thing that we had when we got started, and they've had just as long, if not longer.
The funny thing is once again, the ancients also postulated this. Enki, the god of wisdom in Sumerian mythology, had 7 what they call lamasu, they were basically like mer people that would live in the Mabzu, the ancient primeval ocean. And
Right.
they were actually the purveyors of cosmic knowledge, the maze. So supposedly civilization itself arose because mermaids came up and were like, hey, yo, proto-humans, here, have cosmic Promethean knowledge.
That sounds good.
And that's how it came to be.
This is how Grug learned how to tie a rock to a stick.
Yes.
It
Yep, actually, yes.
It was all downhill from there.
Yes. So
I mean, I'm just glad because I thought you guys were about to go into the aquatic ape hypothesis.
No, not really that per se.
Weird.
Like
I've never heard of that. What is the aquatic ape there, Noodle?
The aquatic ape hypothesis is that humanity basically became humans and we like lost all of our body fur and all that stuff because we're like early hominids became semi-aquatic.
Based on what? Dolphins?
Based on us having lost all of our
We didn't need it anymore. We developed clothes.
Okay, all right.
And,
Counterpoint. Counterpoint.
It's weird. It's weird, and I don't understand any of the stuff that was going for it at all. But
all right. Counterpoint. The Italians exist. I'm just saying they are semi-aquatic too, and I mean they haven't lost their hair.
You guys saw Robin Williams when he was alive. That man did not lose any hair, like ever. I think he just gained it all.
Yeah, I think it was one of those like equivalent exchange things. Like certain Sneks and other people lost their hair. Robin Williams just gained their hair.
He absorbed their hair energy.
Yes, it's like Shang-Chi or God, what the one evil wizard from Mortal Kombat. Your hair is mine.
No! Shang Tsung.
Yes,
I can talk. I swear.
I'm sorry. I don't know Mortal Kombat lore like I probably should, considering I'm friends with you and Cog.
I know the old stuff, dude. I haven't been keeping up. So, that's all I had for that one. Are you guys ready to move to number 2?
I think that's good. I mean, really, honestly, I mean, I have no dog on that one. That one, it's like, I mean, if it's, I kind of hope that the chthonic ocean thing isn't real but that's more of a beef of the fact that I'm like, I just find young Earth creationists just so unbearably smug.
All right.
So
I wish to propose a counterpoint. Now, I'm just saying, non-zero chance of finding monster girls. I say we hold out hope.
Yeah, okay. No, okay. Question being though, are they considered human?
Well,
y'all need Jesus.
Okay. Here's where things get murky. I propose 2 theories.
But you see, Noodle, that's the thing. I am asking this because I'm like, okay, the strange, alien woman that I see, who is actually an Earthling, does she have a soul, and therefore do I need to preach the word of our Savior, Jesus Christ, to her?
So, I propose 2 theories.
Okay.
The first theory is that there was some origination. There was some originator species that somehow divided, and in such a way that one stayed on the surface and became modern humanity. And at the same time, the cousin distaff counterpart went underground to this vast underground ocean place. And if so, regardless of what they look like today, then yes, they would be human, however distantly. Second theory is convergent evolution. Much like how everything is becoming crabs, if monster girls arose independent of humanity, in their own environment, isolated, separate from us, then technically speaking, no, they're not people. However, if they are indeed intelligent, sapient beings, by what measure, I don't know, but let's throw that out there for the sake of argument. The Harkness test, I don't know. Uh, you have, this opportunity to see something also perhaps endowed by the creator with a similar spark to that of humanity in their own right. For all we know, down there is tribes of monster girls who also, celebrate the coming of our Lord and Christ. We don't know. I'm just
funny.
saying it's possible.
I could swear that you just literally lifted the Exodus of the Silver Spears with your first theory. That is literally the World Tree's Exodus of the Silver Spheres.
No, I wasn't trying to riff on you, but I was saying, let's just look at it logically. Think about this, as a historian would, and what are your options? Yeah. Well, that's pretty much your options is A and B.
No, it makes sense. I'm just...
that is funny, though.
It's also really funny for you to, think like a historian, you say, to me.
To the historian,
A historian, yes.
Yeah, what can I say? I learned from the best.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, now we're going completely off the crazy train.
Hey, speaking of crazy, our next one is alien contact with the government. So let me just throw in my 2 cents.
All right, boys. What do you think?
Okay. On the one hand, on the negation side of the argument, the government could not hide the fact that the lady who brings in the mail gave a BJ to the head of state in the middle of the Oval Office. They couldn't even hide that. And you want us to believe that they could hide spaceships, intergalactic communications. That's a little bit much to swallow, so to speak. So,
interesting choice of words.
That was such an unfortunate turn of phrase, and I did not do that deliberately. I apologize. We're past the 10-minute mark. It's fine. YouTube's not checking anymore, but I'm just saying, I apologize.
I'm just saying, I thought you did it on purpose.
I did not. That was by accident.
Wow, that was actually a pretty funny joke. Anyways, I'm sorry, Noodle. What were you trying to say?
On the other hand, the amount of stuff that we have that was just conspiracy theories of things that the government did in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and people were told that they were crazy for thinking about it, and then, over the last couple of years, the government has been like, oh yeah, we totally did that.
Yeah, definitely.
What you gonna do about it?
By the way, no one's been prosecuted, no one's going to be prosecuted, but yeah, that was definitely us.
Oh, are you guys aware of the, everyone swore up and down that MLK Jr. was being monitored, very heavily monitored by the FBI. And then they declassified his file, and they're like, oh yeah, the entire time he was famous, we were basically heavily monitoring him to the point that several crimes that happened were kind of hushed up just to avoid, interacting with our observation probe.
Yes, so, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, fun times.
I also wish to forward an important point of information. Do you know when large-scale, widespread weather data began to be recorded regularly?
That was in the early. That was in the 1890s, wasn't it?
Well, kind of. Things began being written down, but I'm talking about more sophisticated weather apparatus. It wasn't until the 1940s.
Well, that's the thing.
That's things like Doppler.
Right.
That's the thing, though, Professor. It's we have knowledge going back to about the century, which is always why when everyone's like, oh my God, the weather data is telling us that we're all going to die because of a heat wave. And it's really? Based off of what? well, the chart says it's like this, and it's like, okay, but look at it in the broad scheme of things. You're looking at like 50 years of data. Yeah? How
And
old is the Earth?
yet insurance
If we're going,
companies... Good.
if we're going extremely, we're being extremely generous. We're using the young Earth creation, model. That's 6,000 years.
Right.
50 years is nothing in that period. That is not good science. Even if you're just using 6,000 years, if you're actually using the several billion years, that is not even a blink of time.
Yep.
That is extremely shoddy science.
Now, fun fact.
Never mind.
Good.
Oh, just never mind the like. If people remember Malthusian economics and all the doom mongering that he did during that time.
Yeah.
Where because of certain booms in population in the late 18th century, he was saying that about this time we would be experiencing huge population booms, and to the point that we would be literally resorting to cannibalism in order to feed ourselves. And that's where a modest proposal came from. It literally was mocking Malthusian scaremongering.
Yep.
For little Jimmy and Timmy and Sally, and you're going, oh, gee, what's a modest proposal? Ask your parents. They probably had to read it in high school. It's actually really funny.
You see, it's when you get an Irish...
I don't know, man, because that would require that they actually have some knowledge of the past and history and philosophy and ethics and
some kind of context, culturally speaking.
I'm just saying, Jonathan Swift is way smarter and way funnier than we give him, credit for, really.
So, another fun fact related. Insurance companies base rates on the concept of the 100-year storm or the 100-year flood, but they don't even have 100 years of data to operate under. Also, having a 99-year stretch where there is no 100-year storm does not mean the next year is guaranteed to have one, because weather events operate the same way as a dice roll. Each event is isolated from everything else.
Not necessarily, because it's all part of one system that's flowing into each other or anything. Because the roll of each dice is independent of the outcomes of each roll. And a weather system, it's all a giant system, and so then it's, the weather events from one year will affect the next year because it'll cause, changes in...
Well, yes, I'm being a little reductive, I admit, but I'm saying...
It's a constant flow, man. It's a flow.
Like the problem being, Snek, and this is really kind of a problem of just us being humans, is the fact that we want to focus on a single thing, like a particular storm, when we don't understand that the storm exists because of the entire system of the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is really, really big, and there's a lot of things going on with it. And yet we want to, in order to fully get the context of that, you basically, as Noodle was saying, you have to not only know everything that's going in the atmosphere and also have data from like prior years, because if there's like a solar storm or something, that's going to be additional energy in the atmosphere that's going to cause things to happen. But that's hard. It's really hard, and especially like what you were saying, that we don't have really comprehensive data apart from maybe 70 years ago.
Yep.
That's even more hard. So, but it's really easy to make sweeping claims about, we need to reduce, the amount of carbon emissions, destroy all the nuclear reactors also. But, because the 70 years of data we have are clearly saying that, the carbon storms are coming, you guys.
Carbon
You can't see it. I'm rolling my eyes.
That's a conspiracy theory unto itself, right?
So Anyways, we have gotten really off topic.
Okay.
So,
The point I was actually trying to make is we weren't really watching the skies in great depth till like mid World War II, and
okay.
so we have thousands of years, like thousands of years, where we don't have meaningful data for things going in and out of Earth's atmosphere. But they believe that within that measured time frame, that's in irreconcilably small span of time, that aliens showed up, were not noticed, and somehow talked to our heads of state without alerting anyone along the way. Really. That's very interesting, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I also think it's really interesting how if you go to Europe, their version of extraterrestrials are basically elves, like Tolkienian elves, where they're tall, extremely pale, extremely attractive blonde people that come down and like give knowledge. Meanwhile, our extraterrestrials are weird bug-eyed monsters.
Little green men, yes, the LGM.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And they just show up and they
So,
probe our cattle, apparently, because that's like they are very bored and apparently believe they can get more meaningful data out of cattle probing than they already have.
maybe they think it's funny. I don't know.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, for all we know, all of those things are just like bored alien teenagers who just,
That's the
Who just
alien
drunk-
equivalent of cow tipping is cow probing.
So what you're
You know,
saying is when
well,
they're
they're just drunk alien teenagers, and all of the like crop circles are just drunk alien teenagers doing donuts in the middle of a field.
I actually kind
So
of
what you're
like
saying
that
is
theory.
they do donuts, then they go over and they're like, oh yeah, hey, Splurgen, I am Glandorf. I have cosmic knowledge. Here, drink this Vril.
so like, but here's the thing, here's like my counter argument to my initial argument is, first off, space is inconceivably big. I could give you the numbers, but they wouldn't matter because numbers over a certain size literally stop registering. The
Yeah, it's
universe
just
is huge. Like,
mhm.
ridiculously huge, ridiculously old, and constantly in motion. So take all these factors put together. There is a lot of space. Let's assume the rare Earth theory is correct for the sake of argument, that there's only so many planets that can support life as we fully understand it. That there's only so many to go around. Let's start there. So first, they'd have to be relatively close by. Second, they would have to have a civilization that chronologically overlaps with ours. They can't come too soon and they can't come too late. They have to have some appropriate overlap. Third, we would have to get some kind of communication from them. And fourth, we'd have to have some way of communicating back to them. Because even if we got a message today, let's say SETI gets a message, and for the sake of argument, let's say that we can understand it perfectly, no problem, no time lost in the process, and try to shoot a message back, it's going to take hundreds, if not thousands of years for that message to even be received. Who knows if they're even still there? Like, there are
and that's
so many logistical
Literally,
hurdles.
if they were at the next star over, if they were like literally our cosmic equivalent of next door neighbors, it would take about 5 years.
That'd be Proxima
for
Centauri.
Signal to go.
The funny thing is I just saw a thing from Burial Goods about this where it's like, if you ever think about it, cosmic horror is probably the most realistic type of horror that we have. You look up every day and you see literal ghosts staring back at you.
That's
These
true.
are stars which may have been dead for millions of years, and yet you see them.
Yeah,
So,
because the light takes that much time to travel here.
now, I will preface this with the fact that there are actually, I want to say it was O'Neill's. You know the O'Neill cylinder that the colonies that you see in Gundam?
Yeah.
O'Neill's actually postulated a form of hyperliminal travel through what he called, I want to say it was evanescence basically evanescence transmission, whereupon it wouldn't be the ship going faster than light. Basically, you are producing you're basically producing a railway of space which is out of time, and so you're basically able to trick the universe and be able to go faster than light relative to the rest of the universe by just traveling along this straight line. The problem being is trying to create this corridor. That's the problem.
Right.
And so also, if you're using this, science fiction writers, you really aren't able to have hyperliminal space battles, which everyone really, really loves for some reason, because, you're just going in a straight line. You can't really maneuver. So, yeah.
No, man, then those become, I think that actually makes things a lot easier because limitations breed creativity. And so then you end up with those sorts of, the hub systems where you have those sorts of things acting essentially as gigantic trade choke points, which that just brings me back to like Age of Sail, all sorts of weird stuff going on, man. Napoleonic Wars. God.
Could be the
heard it
sci-fi equal of the stagecoach robbery, if you think about it.
You heard it here, folks. Noodle and Snek are going to collaborate and produce a science fiction series now. No.
So, like,
Well,
is it like I guess my argument hinges on like there's a lot of space going spare. Like, are there aliens out there? Maybe. Are they intelligent? Maybe. Are they intelligent, alive, contemporaneous, and in a civilization phase that has any chance at all of reaching out and saying hello? Odds are kind of against that, but it's possible.
Professor, you already know my thoughts on this. I want to believe. Okay.
It is another chance to find monster girls. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that as a practicing Catholic, the Vatican's official stance on that is if there are aliens out there and if they are intelligent, then they have souls and it is our duty to spread the word of our Lord and Savior to them.
Based.
Very based.
I'm on board.
So is that our final
Space
word on
Crusades, man.
Space Crusades, yes. Yeah,
all right.
That's the long and short of it, I think.
Okay, well, I guess this is, with Space Crusades in mind, I guess this is the exact opposite because it literally is planetary demons secretly control the world.
So, okay, here's my thought on this one. What was it? Back in high school, you told me about the book Good Omens, and what I thought was really interesting about that was the demons would look to mankind to figure out new ways of torture because we were so proficient at it. And I kind of feel like we don't need demons for politicians to be corrupt, rotten to the core, and do everything wrong because they just kind of do that by default.
Yeah, it just kind of is the thing where if you have the opportunity, you just have all this power and wealth and authority, and our nature as fallen beings, there will always be that temptation to abuse whatever power and authority you have.
Yep.
And yet St. Paul was like, always remember you are beset by powers and principalities and dominions and virtues. Really?
Yeah. Yes. This is the thing. I'm not saying that those aren't out there. I'm just saying, well, let's be honest. Really, do we need the help?
I'm not denying the realm of the spiritual, to be clear. There could be angels, demons, and spirits all around us of all different stripes and flavors. But consider the following. This is simply an application of Occam's razor. This is simplest explanation is it's a bunch of octogenarians who have never lived outside of their ivory towers, who come from these power dynasty families and have been in the reins of power for decades, if not centuries or millennia. There is no reason to complicate it beyond that. That's the essence of modern politics.
For the record, I was the one who actually put this in here just because I was asked when I by the SOX agency as an applicant what conspiracy theory I believed in, and being a Gnostics professor, not a Gnostics professor, I might as well be. I know enough about it. I thought it would just be funny to put that there. So this is not really something that I think is even popular. I just was like, yeah, I should probably add this in.
Fair enough.
But anyway,
Actually, the next one is
here's
because
one
of me.
yeah. Birds as drones for the government.
Okay.
Yes, the classic drone, the B1RD. Yes.
So here's the
See,
thing. Birds are disgusting.
Here's the thing, though.
All right.
Even if not all birds are drones, it is confirmed that some birds are drones. Because, like, there have been things of, like, the Mexican government and the Chinese government taking the corpses of supposedly dead birds. I mean, these might be, just repurposed drones. But taking them and turning them into drones. So, even if not all birds are drones is a fact, some birds are drones. It's a fact.
I also wish to push forward the following. 1, birds are disgusting creatures. They are nasty, they are noisy, they do not care for hygiene or rules of society, they crap all over my car. Like, birds are awful. And if you think about it, the only thing that has feathers is this one particular family that's also really contentiously tied to dinosaurs. And sorry, Bacon, I know you're not here to argue your case on the matter, but I'm just saying, maybe dinosaurs were just drones. Maybe the dinosaurs were drones used by prototypical alien governments to spy on the peoples who lived on the planet at the time. And maybe birds are just like more drones following the schema of the ancient civilizations. You guys have not considered that, have you?
Meanwhile, thousands of years ago, Grug just sees a Tyrannosaurus. He's like, "Oh, big government, government, monitoring Grug. Grug, onto truth."
Grug no care who IRS sends. Grug is not paying taxes.
Based Grug.
Now is this Zoomer Grug or is this Boomer Grug? We
Grug M keep all of pelts that Grug M get from saber.
Do you remember Boomer Grug,
yes,
Professor?
Boomer Grug, who only hunted with his club, and his son Zoomer Grug, who wanted to advent the spear. And Grug was like, son, no believe in club is truly end of days.
I if only for the fact that we now have, Doomer Grug, I ascribe to the fact that dinosaurs were in fact actually drones. So you have converted me. You have convinced me, you guys.
You guys cannot, you guys can't prove it didn't happen, to be clear. And I'm just saying, birds are awful creatures. Why else would cats hate them so much? So,
and cats are wonderful creatures. They are guardians of the underworld in several mythologies. They are wards against evil spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
want to talk about an animal that's as anti-authoritarian as they come? Cats.
It's speaking of Good Omens, another Terry Pratchett book, I forget which one, was like, in ancient times, the cats were worshipped as gods. They have not forgotten this.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm just saying, Professor, you better be careful, because like you're gonna go out to your car and there's gonna be like, Snek, I'm watching you. Notice me. Just crapped onto your car.
Yeah. I hate birds. They are nasty, disgusting creatures. So, let's move on to our next. The Easter
All right.
Island Colossus. Or
Now,
Colossi?
this is Colossus. This is actually the impetus for this entire thing because Mama Poogum sent me this meme and was like, you guys should talk about this. And I'm like, well, okay. And it literally is a picture of the Earth, and on one end there's the Easter Island. On the other end there's Stonehenge, and in the middle someone drew a giant body. So they're saying that the Easter Island statues are the heads of a giant colossus, with Stonehenge being the toes. I don't have the heart to tell her that Stonehenge is actually a circle, and that there's more than one Easter Island, head. But it's a funny idea, so I just figured I'd add this in there. Also, I mean,
Well,
this would
clearly the Easter Island Colossus is taking a gigantic bath in the underwater or the underground ocean.
Oh, obviously. Duh. So, okay.
Oh, that makes
I wish to take this idea and amplify it to its absurd limits, proposing, instead, the Easter Island Colossi, I don't know, for each statue anywhere in the world whose feet touch the ground or whose structure touches the ground. If you think about it, molecules don't touch. There's no difference between something that's truly connected and something that both happen to make contact with the Earth, terra firma. So let's extrapolate further from that and propose that all statues that make contact with the Earth, could be part of one massive superstructure running through the endless ocean under the crust. What say it could be an ancient golem for the defense of the planet against the alien threat, presumably alien birds. And that one day this colossus will rise up to defend the Earth in a giant mecha battle when that day comes.
And so that's why the birds poop on all the statues. It's part of their epic war.
Yep, they're hoping to use biological warfare. It has urine in it, which is acidic, which burns many types of stone. They're trying to weather away at the statue to destroy the Colossus before it has the chance to rise in a way that us humans won't notice.
This is even deeper.
Fun fact, the white stuff that you see with bird poop, dear listener, is in fact the bird that's urine. That is the bird's urine.
I'll do you one even better there, Professor.
Okay.
You know that you can easily, you could parse that the Easter Island statue heads are actually a religious thing, correct?
Right. Yeah, certainly.
Well, are you familiar with the reason why they stopped creating them?
I am not.
And what replaced them? Well, basically what happened is they ran out of trees in order to actually move them into positions.
Right.
The darndest thing, really. So they replaced them with a Birdman god. The Easter Island statue people became sublimated by that which they wished to destroy.
I told you birds were evil. I told you.
Yeah, to this day, the Easter Islanders, there still are actually Easter Island natives. They participate in the Birdman rituals, whereupon certain chosen people have to go out and perform like certain deeds as birdmen. It's a thing that happens. So
I'm just saying, the bird aliens will return for their flock. Birds of a feather and all that, and we have no choice.
It is our duty, therefore, to consume all of the birds that we can.
Exactly,
because they are.
This just makes me think of this is the Snek's Macross. It's just the alien dinosaurs and Trotty versus the base human defenders.
And we'll have to go to the underground ocean in order to awaken the heart of our defender Colossus. The ancient guardian god Tiamat.
And then you'll have to, have a steamy romance with some cat girl mermaid person.
That checks out. I am willing to fall on the sword for all life on the earth. I will take up this responsibility nobly and
Our
nobly.
people have protected the gate to secret ancient guardian golem Tiamat for generations, yeah?
I
How can we trust you, Snek-kun?
because I was tasked with bearing this burden meaningfully by Dr. Super Saiyan Dragon Jordan Peterson, to meaningfully carry out my burdens.
No. That's when you reveal your secret birthmark to show that you are part of that bloodline.
That bloodline.
Man,
Yes.
Wizards of Houston's getting wild.
This is escalating fast. Well, you see, that's how it works, because you can't destroy the Earth if you're trying to defend it. So obviously the interior of the planet is just an ocean, so the golem can withdraw from the surface and expand into its true state, which is its giant super robot form.
This is just going to be the end of Gurren Lagann, isn't it?
Something like that.
Either that or the least insane spirit science episode.
Dutalka's like, I love how grounded and realistic this one is.
Yeah, this one doesn't involve psychic battles with demons, so, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with just, a eternal battle between, alien dinosaur birds, which may or may not be robots, and, just underwater mermaid cat girls that, defend the planet Earth. And Snek's there in the middle being like, I am the chosen one.
I had to put on a really cool scarf and say something really profound, like, clean up your room, bucko!
All right, Snek, now you got to say something really deep and profound. Taxation is theft. Okay, I like the energy. Probably not appropriate, but,
Okay, I can fix it. Taxation is extortion. There.
All right, fine.
That's more legally correct.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right, so is that all we have to say on that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't really, once again, this is another one that I just felt kind of obliged to, and just curious to see what everyone else thought about it. I was not prepared for, Snek being the chosen one, or his steamy whirlwind romance with, underwater cat girl mermaids.
Cat girl mermaid.
Anyways.
Guardian, yeah.
Here's another one, which unfortunately we've kind of already established is kind of sort of true.
Yeah.
The assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
And for years, people were like, well, obviously it was the CIA. And then the CIA just shrugged their shoulders and went, yeah, that was us. 100%.
And then, they basically about 3 years ago, they went, yeah, it was.
What you going to do about it?
Even to the point that at several points, the KGB was like, this was not us. And CIA went, yes, we know.
We know.
And now we know why, because they were the one who did it.
They did it.
If you understand what John F. Kennedy was saying after the Bay of Pigs incident, where he was like, I am going to destroy the CIA, I'm going to scatter it to the four winds, it's understandable why.
Yeah, just a bit. To say nothing of the fact that, again, no one's been prosecuted and no one's going to be prosecuted. These people are the same people who've been in the CIA, FBI, ATF, and all that other crap from the beginning.
The people that were around then, dude, are long dead. Like Deep Throat, all those guys, and like Watergate, they're all dead. They've all passed on.
Yes.
But it's their students, their immediate proteges. Oh yeah, they're still there. I'm sure. I would bet money they're still there.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
again,
that spirit is probably still. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Power Dynasty families. Once you're in the ivory towers, and you never leave. Because why would you? You have power, money, and basically carte blanche to literally assassinate a sitting president, and not you nor anyone you know or love will ever even have a finger pointed in your direction. You guys ever get the sense that I'm not a big fan of the government?
30 on
Because
30 on 30.
I'm not.
30, 30, 30.
Thank you.
If you really want a humor moment, ladies and gentlemen, there are several individuals that were involved in both Waco and in Ruby Ridge, and they're still alive. And as the professor said, they've never been prosecuted. They've never been cited. They have never had anything, not even a slap on the wrist.
Your government is corrupt and it hates you, and it wants you dead.
Yeah.
Because you are an inconvenience to them. Just in case there was any ambiguity. If you think you can vote your way out of this situation, you're still lying to yourself. In Power
The tree
World,
of liberty needs watering.
it is long overdue. So, let's talk about the moon landings.
In Pal World.
In Power World.
This one actually was one that I was like doing research for my creepypasta.
Right?
This one, I went down several rabbit holes, and now I have to say, it sounds crazy, but honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay, do tell. I want to hear this.
Because, okay, here's the thing. We all are aware of the fact that like there was actually like televised things of that.
Right.
Here's the thing though. We don't actually have the masters of the televised recordings. We have copies of those. But apparently what happened is they had a recording, and then journalists and everyone who was, like talking about it basically were allowed to record or look at the recording from a particular, basically a very large screen. They were not actually given direct cells of the actual Apollo 11 moon landing. Also, it's important to remember that at this point, there were several expeditions into Antarctica in order to collect lunar material. Right. Apparently, the poles are the atmosphere is thinner, and so there is actually like lunar material that would fall off and whatever, just through the act of the moon and the Earth interacting with each other. And so they would go their Operation Deep Freeze. They went there multiple times through the 1950s to up till about the 1970s. Just saying, they could have gotten the lunar material from those expeditions. Also, the fact that there were several things, especially with the space shuttles, that we later learned that like the Van Allen belt is actually way more intense than we initially thought, to the point that like you look at early astronauts and they started getting cancers and things that people did not anticipate just because they weren't shielded for it.
Right. And
that's the reason why if you actually hear about astronauts, they're like, yeah, their DNA actually changed. That's true, because they go through the EM basically barrier, and it literally fries the human body. The human body is not meant to go through basically just being basted in electricity.
Yeah.
But there's actually they've accounted for that now. But during the 60s, they did. And by rights, those people, the astronauts in the original Apollo, would have been basically cooked alive. So it's my thing of like, on one hand, it's like, it's that, all these things. On the other hand, it's like, though, we can't actually see the tracks of the lunar landers, the lunar rovers. So I honestly am not sure. But I'm like, there's things on both sides, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, it's distressing how much like evidence there is to go. There's a lot that seems to hint that this may have just been the U.S. going, yeah, we did it. See, we did it. Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
Well, you see, I think I can wrap this one up. Okay.
Okay.
So the bird people have a base on the moon. And we got too close.
This was not going where I thought it was.
We got too close to their base. And so in return for the lives of our astronauts, they had to basically fudge evidence for both sides to add ambiguity. And that way, people won't know how close they are. I mean, literally, our next door neighbor is Mars, named for the god of war. So, like, where else would the birds launch their assault from, if not Mars, using the moon as a way to hide themselves?
You're using Drifter's lore right now. You are literally using Drifter's lore.
Never read it.
Dinosaur people.
So,
You're...
That's a joke, everybody.
I'm gonna smack you face.
I was writing a tabletop RPG book, and the original working title was Drifters. This was well before the manga of the same name popped up, which is why I'm making my stupid joke about not having read it.
Yeah. I was about to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you might just see the first internet chancla, because I'm going to throw something at this Snek.
Dear AI overlords, if someone were to throw in a chancla from Poogberg to Snekberg, how long would I have to dodge? So, yes, one of the story beats was that there was an exodus of dinosaurs under the goddess of dinosaurs who fled to Mars to plot her revenge because the other deities had banded together to overthrow her. And she basically, to this day, sits on Mars waiting for her opportunity to have another go at the Earth, waiting for the day the gods turn their attention away so she can have her revenge and return the dinosaurs to the Earth. And that was basically a huge reference to that story.
Meanwhile, the dinosaurs actually have flying saucers, and they go around to just screw with surface Earthlings.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I'm just saying, it all comes back to the birds.
This one's for the birds. Anyways, this one's another kind of sort of serious one that actually demanded
Yes.
that I add to this list.
I started researching this. Let's talk about the Titanic. Not the crappy movie.
Oh, boy.
Okay, let me start. Hot take. We're an hour in. No one's watching. Titanic was not a love story. Titanic is the story of a woman who pissed away an inheritance that could have gone to her family and instead threw it all away for a guy that she knew for about 12 hours, boinked once, and he died. And she literally, on her deathbed, would rather talk about him than the husband that she built a relationship with over the past several decades. That is not romantic. That's disgusting, creepy, and she made for the streets.
No. See, Professor, I agree with you, but I am not kidding you. I have gotten into multiple shouting matches with Baby Poogum over the fact that Rose was a disgusting, garden tool, for the fact that she had a 50-year-long relationship with a husband, and yet her dying thoughts are, oh, that one homeless guy that I knew for like a day, he was my true love.
Yes.
Not the man that, I was with for 50 years.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
And Baby Poogum was like, no, it was so romantic. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, Baby Poogum. As your older brother postulated, Rose was indeed kind of a rake. So...
I was thinking another garden instrument, but okay.
That's a continuity nod, everybody. So, here's the thing, and here's where things get really, really interesting, because even before the ship sank, something was afoot, and it wasn't good. Because you got to understand, the Titanic happened in a time of great political tumult. There was this little thing. There were these very rich and powerful, influential men who might or might not be those exact same power dynasty families that I keep warning you people about. So, I want to clean the earwax out of your ears and listen real good on this one. So, there were two major sects of thought at the time. One group said, we need a Federal Reserve. And if you guys don't know what the Federal Reserve is, it's basically pure evil. And it's a half government, half privately owned thing that controls our money supply, the printing of money, which is unconstitutional, by the way, because only the government can actually do that. And again, half privately owned by really, really shady individuals with really interesting pasts. Google it. It's all public information now. That just hope it gets drowned in the sea of noise, much like the JFK assassination. So they were like, we need a Federal Reserve. And the other sect was like, we do not. And, you know, the funny thing, all of them were invited to the Titanic. It was a very big deal, obviously. Very large, very luxurious cruise ship, especially for the elite class. So, this really interesting thing happened where all at the same time, everyone who was in favor of the Federal Reserve got the sniffles at the same time and all canceled their RSVPs and did not make the ship. Meanwhile, everyone who was against it managed to make the boat. And lo and behold, a seasoned captain, years of experience on his hand navigating these waters time and time and time again, made a rookie blunder on a ship that was not safety rated for these conditions, had a quote-unquote safety feature that by design didn't work, and not enough lifeboats and supplies to keep everyone alive. Almost like they literally set it up to be a sinking cage to hide the evidence of mass political assassination so that the bankers who control the world can better control the world. And then World War II happened and turned the United States into a borderless economic zone with its own corporation number. Google it.
Professor, I see where you're coming from, but I'm going to say the entire thing of not having enough lifeboats. I mean, Papa Pugum is actually in the cruise business now, and he'll tell you that's just a thing. That's just the thing they do, unfortunately. It's just the state and nature of ships. They don't have enough.
There's only so much space to go around. But consider the size of the Titanic in proportion to the number of people who are actually saved. They wanted everyone dead.
Oh, I see where you're coming from. I completely do. I'm just, devil's advocate.
Fair
okay?
enough.
I'm just...
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. There is a lot of suspicious stuff going on. You're not even going into the fact that, like, this happened, right when they were actually questioning whether or not they wanted to stay on the gold reserve or not.
Yep.
Or whether or not they wanted to sell it off. Yeah, very curious that. How, like, the entirety of the 20th century has been the U.S. government going, do we really want fiat currency?
Do we want money that literally has 0% inflation every year because it's actually backed by something that everyone agrees upon is valued and useful? That sounds stupid. We want to inflate the money so that we can play money markets, make ourselves rich, and then die because we're all octogenarians, and we don't care, and we'll just saddle the next generation with all the debt. Thanks, boomers. Works out great so far. I love $8 eggs. How about you?
Oh, well, that's less inflation and more the fact that they keep killing chickens, and not for the reasons why you should kill chickens, which is to say they're delicious, and more they're like, there's bird flu. It's like, really?
There's not been any actual documented evidence of it, but they keep claiming it, yes.
Yeah, so.
I'm just saying everything about
the real reason that you kill birds, that you should be killing chickens, is because they're birds and therefore agents of the secret bird aliens on the moon.
And that's true, but they are delicious. This is a win-win situation.
The irony of the fact that, Noodle has been painting my, bird-aligned, space Egyptian cultists for like months now.
I am literally painting birdmen for your bird things. I am painting Zangor as we speak.
And not even going in on with the vampire birdmen. So
I cannot wait for you to be here visiting me in 2 weeks, so then we can play 40k with these, and then my Raven Guard can shoot these people to hell and back.
the irony of the fact that there's just birds all the way down.
Is it weird that
Raven
birds
Guard-
have... Is it not weird that like all of these tie back to the birds? I'm just saying.
This
It's
too
birds.
is for the birds.
It's birds all the way down, man.
It is. It
So,
is.
yes, this one I actually genuinely believe the Titanic was deliberate, very much so, in order to make the rich richer and to make it look like an accident.
Many such cases. There's another one that because of that, I would say, yeah, I kind of am inclined to agree with you on this one. Yeah, and we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole because that's
No.
relatively recent.
That's
and
not-
I don't want to get... Yeah.
Let's not.
There's a reason why that one's not on the list.
Indeed. Speaking of Utaku, why don't you take us home and explain the last one?
Oh, well, this is another just fun one. I am reasonably certain that this is not real, even if I desperately want it to be real, because there's this little incident called the Boxer Rebellion. And if this actually was true, then the people that were in the Boxer Rebellion would have had this. But the fact that the Boxer Rebellion got taken out by Marines with Browning automatic rifles, I think kind of definitively puts to rest this conspiracy. And that is the idea that there's Vril / Prana / Oder / Orgone / Aura / Chi / vitalistic magnetism. There's as many names for this as you could think. Basically, there's a secret magic energy that only people have that somehow turns a regular schlubby nerd into Superman, who can fly and is super strong and super cool, and he shoots lasers out of his hands. I mean, yes, and I can already hear it. You absolute buffoon. Vril is a liquid. Yes, it's a liquid that's supposed to be accumulated in your body that does all these things, okay? I am aware I have the story that Vril comes from, okay? Also with all the dirty looks, because literally the title of the story is, and I am not kidding you, Vril, the story of the new coming race. Not understanding, this is from the 19th century, and race and species were interchangeable back then, okay? Race realism wasn't really a thing as we would understand it, despite what, communists would lead you to believe.
Yeah, magic, unfortunately, is not real, but the world would be way cooler if it was.
I mean, yeah, wouldn't it be cool, though, if there actually was, that, if anything, that would basically be, the ultimate in, hey, guys, you should do push-ups. Oh, man, why should I do push-ups? Because if you do enough push-ups, you can fire lasers out of your hands. Oh, okay, well, I mean, really, honestly, in Dragon Ball world, why are there any, fat nerds at all? They should all be, chiseled chads. Because they've seen, they should know, that what there's been enough things that they should know that there are, if you just do enough push-ups, you can eventually learn how to move mountains and fire energy out of your eyeballs and, all that stuff. But it is what it is. So,
So,
do you have any thoughts on this one, Noodle?
I mean, yeah, it is pretty clear that it's, fake, and this is not a thing, because, yeah, otherwise, I mean, really, let's be honest. If this was a thing, and you could just get cultivate your life energy to be able to, like, shoot laser beams and stuff, then, like, all of those weird fitness influencers would have unlocked it by accident, and then we'd be seeing all of these... honestly, guys, do you think that, freaking Logan Paul would have not shown off that he could fly and shoot laser beams if you could unlock that just by doing push-ups? Come on. Seriously.
Actually, that would have been really funny as if Logan Paul was like, hey guys, Logan Paul here, and I'm about to fight, Mike Tyson. He tries to pull off a Kamehameha and Mike Tyson just, no sells it. He's like, oh, so this would be an even fight then. I was holding back all these years.
I was wearing weighted clothing.
Naughty! That's right. You trained with the dinosaur people. I trained in the old ways.
On the peaks of Mount Shinkin Hatsu Batsu Datsu Matsu Datsu.
The peaks of Shinkin Matsu Patsu Patsu Datsu. Yes, the giant ocean, giant mountain underneath its ocean.
Oh man, it's a mountain under the ocean, under the crust, under the ocean.
It's a lot of pressure is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, there were all these people telling me to do drugs. There's just a lot of peer pressure, man. I couldn't take it.
Man, Mike Tyson, you need to take a lot of real. No, I can't do that. My mom said not to. Ah, come on, Mike Tyson, you should do real. No, I said I don't want to. That's why I had to come back here.
You guys should respect my choices. Friends don't tell friends to use performance-enhancing substances.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
That's the entirety of the list.
that's what we cobbled together. And I gotta say, birds are evil. Don't trust them. And if someone you know owns a bird, do not trust them. They're already compromised. Do not give them any meaningful information, especially about Earth's military installations. That will be extravagantly bad. So we thank you for watching along and hearing us out on our objectively correct assessment of these situations. So we hope that you learned something, especially that birds are evil.
Or if we did get something wrong, but, or if you think that we got something wrong, you know what? You should tell us. Tell us down below. Comment on why we're wrong.
Yeah, tell us. We would love to hear your input on these two. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining me in this unexpectedly wacky turn of events.
Of course.
So, thank you once again for watching along. And we were going to see you in the next episode of the Tomodachi Bros podcast. Thanks again, and we'll see you there.